Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Wednesday Lunch Live Sketch. My name is Frank Summers. If you're new to the Wednesday Lunch Live Sketch, we pick a topic every week. We do it for about 25 minutes. I try to bring it to color as much as I can. And with that, today's topic is the Knights Who Say Ni from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So if you've never seen that movie before, I highly recommend checking it out if you are of age, that is, of course. Myself, I remember seeing it a long time ago, and we didn't think much of it. I was in high school, and we turned it off about halfway through, and for the rest of the afternoon, we kind of thought about it a little bit more, and we went back and watched it again, and it was like it slayed. It just totally killed us. It's hilarious. It's one of those classic movies. So with that said, why don't we jump into Photoshop, where we will do some sketching. And so I have my reference up here. Oh, 25 minutes, 25 minutes. Let me start my clock. Everybody in Twitch, thank you for joining me. How are we doing? And away we go. My alarm is going. 25 minutes. Let's see how far we can get. So I want to stick closely to his face. I mean, we see this of him in the movie, but that's all he really does, which is actually kind of impressive because this character is so memorable and he doesn't really move. All we really see is his face, and there's so much that comes across in his face. If you've never seen the movie, it's actually quite impressive. But I'm going to take this view. I want to skew it slightly, a little more of an upshot. So let's just rough in some stuff here. A bit more of an up. Not too extreme, but so we're looking up at him. And let's just get some ideas of where some things are falling. So here's like a neckline, and he's got this big, crazy. I don't know how you want to describe that. Like a cloak, and he's got this hole where his face sits inside of. So this is probably a bit too much already. We can pull that down. So let's just work as quickly as we can. Let's knock that down a bit. And by knocking it down, I mean let's lower it somewhere around here. And then he's got this nose piece, which we can give a little bit of design to. Let's fit him in the Photoshop frame a bit better. And so then he's got some antlers, and let's just kind of with some design. It won't be precise, but we'll get close. It's got like these antlers, like deer antlers, I suppose. And like some of it has some stuff hanging off of it, and he definitely has on top of it some hair, some fuzzy stuff. This is all fuzzy stuff. This cloak. And when we're pitching our point of view, we're slightly looking up at him. Something along those lines. It's kind of strange. Whenever I do the Hangout Live, this is an event. I created this event in Photoshop. I created this event in YouTube, and I don't get the analytics for it as it's going. So I have no idea if there's any sort of chat going on right now. It's a little frustrating. Maybe if I go to the event itself, simply says the stream is offline, which is not true. That is just not the case. I'll have to fiddle with that later. So let's just keep rolling along. This is a sketch. This is a timed sketch, so I'm giving myself 25 minutes to come up with something here. And we're sketching the Knights Who Say Ni from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So now let's find out where his skull is, because it's in here somewhere. And the jaw comes down. And one of the funny things about it is that, like, you see his mouth, and like the beard is oddly falling over the lip. It's like coming out of the helmet, which is pretty funny. So let's see if we can work that in. Let's just give it a wedge shape for now, and we'll have to rough it up a little bit later when I go in to define this a bit more. And here's an eye line. And maybe lower the eye line slightly. Not happy with that eye line. Lower it just a tad. And let's give him like kind of big bulging eyes. So I'm going to go a little more cartoony with this rendition, I suppose. maybe cross-eyed a little bit. And the idea of some brows in there and some teeth. I mean, his face is inside of this little hole doing all these contortions, which is what brings the character to life. And here's a tongue. And here's the idea of a nose, which we'll just kind of place it in there because it's hidden by this piece of helmet. And of course, he's got the mustache, which is flying off out of the helmet as well, which is also very funny. And let's pull that down just a little bit. And we'll start refining this. Where's the center point of our beard? Right around here someplace. That's good. We're finally getting some sun out here in Jersey. We had a couple days of nasty weather, rain. It's finally starting to cool off a little, not cool off, warm up a little bit. We had some pretty cold weather. Just went for a walk. It was kind of nice out. Saw some deer. Let's just continue to build out. Let's get some reference. I'm not quite sure what these antlers are doing. So they're more simple than what I'm making them. It looks like they're really thicker. So you got 1, 2, and then like two large ones. Let's adjust our design a little bit to be a little more. So like 1, we could almost treat this as one grouping made up of two horns. And then he's got like this weird, I mean, like what the heck is this? Like what made him even think to put this here? And he's got a smaller one, thinner, which is pretty good design. And then this grouping over here, he's got 3, possibly 4. Looks like 3. So let's clean this up a little bit. Or not clean it, but let's just work it a little bit better. So let's just think of this as a nice large chunk, and then we'll subdivide it. I don't know about you guys, but I get constant, like that phone call right now, you guys can hear it. I'm sure it's someone selling me energy or something like that. Some energy friggin'. Hey, Jesse, what's up, dude? Neat. Rick's Matt, what's up, dude? How you guys doing today? Jesse, good stream this morning, as always. You're always way more informative and active than I am. But yeah, if anyone wants to buy some alternative energy, I could have picked up the phone and given them your number. So next time that happens, which will probably happen in the next 5 minutes or so, just let me know, and I can have them call you. So let's look at this beard. Oh, actually, let's just kind of mass in the hair, and then what I'm going to do is check my time. How you guys doing today? I'm excited for this. Already looks fun. Thanks, Jesse. Right now, this is my Wednesday lunch live sketch. I'm trying to bring that back into my fold. It's more of a timed sketch. I give myself 25 minutes to kind of come up with something. And right now I'm at the 17-minute mark, 17 and a half. So I'm not animating this guy. He's not going to be animated. It's just a part of my Wednesday lunch live sketch series. I'm just trying to get back into the flow of that. It's super fun. Look how wide his mouth is. I mean, like, look how... I mean, this is absurd. This scene is absurd. So I feel like I need to nudge his nose up some more and really push that mouth more. And again, I'm working loosely, so it's okay that I just take this stuff and just erase it. And I want to pitch the mouth to the side. That's just my prerogative right now. And of course, that means these are going to have to accommodate. And now let's take a look. I mean, the beard is absurd. I mean, it had to have been in his mouth the whole time. So let's get the idea of the beard coming off of his face, too. So something like that. What's up, Pillowhead? How you doing today, man? Good to see you. was saying before that I stream to YouTube at the same time, and I made this as an event, and I can't get any of my stats on my YouTube live streaming page. It's a bit of a drag. So if anyone's in there right now, it's not that I'm ignoring you. I just don't see any of that information. So let's play with these. Let's turn the reference off, and let's just step back and give it a good squint. So I know that these antlers are supposed to be somewhat. Let's play with their design a bit more. Let's just play with their design. I'm trying to think of this as one chunk. So which is good design. It's like this is a large item, this is a medium L, this is a medium item, and this is a small item, which is our three main design elements of playing large, medium, and small against each other. And within that, within our large, we even have another set of large, medium, and small, which creates for interesting design. So let's just play with this a little bit. Let's add a little bit of design to it. Maybe break it up a little bit more. Hey, Anthony, what's happening, dude? Anthony Cadet, how are you? So we can go into these eyes and start finding them a bit more. Let's try and find the shape of these eyes a bit more. And he's wide-eyed, so it's dipping below the eye line. And you can thicken his brows up. Now I feel pretty confident that I can move into the next phase of this. Let's hit save. Let's put another layer down. We can put a tie down. Pull the opacity down on our thumbnail layer. And we can make our tie downs. Tie downs. Let me check my time. I want to splash some color in there. We're at 13 minutes. So I've got another, what have I got? I don't know math. So I got like another 10 minutes. Excuse me. So thin our brush out a little bit. Let me pull the thumbnails down just a little bit more. And let's get in there and let's just tie this down. Get some nice clean lines. They don't have to be perfect, but you know, this is a sketch. I will not bring this to too clean. Because I think that might be beyond the scope of. Let me check my reference. So I'm looking at the space between here, the distance between the top and here, and I do know that we can streamline some of this. I know that we're cheating some of it. Let's get that wrapping around his head, get some feeling that this ring is wrapping around his head, and maybe we can just build it out a little bit. And then let's continue to find that curvature of this helmet. So there's a bit more of a curve than what I have in there. And then for this, I want to play it a little differently. So I'm going to play this a little more straight. And this side over here, actually, I'm going to reverse what I just said. So I'm going to play this side, screen and right, a little straighter. This side here can kick a little bit to the left, and I'll explain why. I have an element that's going this way, and then I have the element of the mouth going this way. So it's just breaking up the image a little bit. I think just adding a little bit of interest to it. And let's build this down. I've got 11 minutes left, so we can keep on cooking here. And let's build a little bit of thickness to the helmet. There we go. Just to give the idea that it's not a piece of paper on his head. The same can be true of this little nose guard, this absurd nose guard. Let's clean this up a little bit. Let's clean that up just a tad. Just get the idea. There's a bit of thickness to this ring going around. Clean that up. Clean, clean, clean. All right. And let's get some design to these. So maybe some straights, and we can play these a little curvier. So these are straighter. This is a little curvier. The same could be true of these. So a nice straight, another straight, and one more straight, and just against a slight curve. There's a slight curve to the outside of it. And we thicken at the base to give it some sense of weight. And the same with this. Straight, another straight, and another straight tucking behind over here someplace. And a slight curve, very slight curve, and another slight curve. Okay. Just to give it some interest, right? Anthony Cadet, am I going to animate this later? I don't think so. I'm still working on that circle and triangle guy. I'm getting very close to the end of that. Do not believe I will be animating this. This is a part of my sketch series where just to give myself something fun to draw. Something fun. I'll post it up on my Twitter. I'll put links on my YouTube channel, or you can follow me on Twitter, or Tumblr, or Google Plus, or I have a blogger still. Now my rationale is I'm keeping all these straights, this type of stuff, on the interior of his helmet. That's the design rationale that I'm going for. And these curves are they're very slight, but I think they help sell it. Save. Time once again, because I would, like I said, like to get a little bit of color in there. We have 7.5 minutes. I think I'm doing okay. Let's get this weird. I mean, what the heck is this thing? I mean, this show really is working on. This movie is working on some other. Like it's got like I don't know where they thought of this. They're insane. They're insane. And again, if you've never seen it before, it is definitely worth. It is worth your while. And again, I watched it when I was a teenager, probably in the early 90s, and my buddies and I just did not. We actually kind of hated it, and we turned it off. We talked about it all afternoon, thinking, what did we miss? What did we miss? What did we not understand? And we're like, okay, let's put it back on again. And when we did, I mean, it slayed us. We were just like, every single scene that we did not laugh at the first time, we lost it. It was so good. I would love to watch this again someday. You got a 30-second animation coming out. Okay, that sounds cool, man. What is it of? Now for the beard, let's try and treat this a little differently than, say, up here. So I'll keep this a little choppier. straighter lines. I got to work on my posture. Oh, I lean over too much. I mean, it really does look like the beard is just coming out of his mouth. And what's kind of nice about trying to keep this beard a little more straight, and by straight I mean using straight lines to help define it, I'm going to play that against the roundness of his mouth. I think that will help differentiate the two. Let's clean this up just a tad. I'm not interested in getting super solid lines. How's my time limit again here? So we got 5 minutes. Let's see what we can get in 5 minutes. Let's make sure these eyes are nice and rounded and they have some shape without getting any tangents in here. Okay, I can see already. One of my little tricks, what I just did right there. So like I was lining up this corner and this corner to see how close I was. And so I'll just pick a line like this line up here on Photoshop. And so they line up. It's just, I know of course I could just hit rulers and pull a guide down, but I was being lazy. I often do that in Harmony when there is no guidelines you pull in. So if I'm trying to measure something, I'll just like shove it into a corner and just measure that way. It's just a quick way of Does he have bolts on his no? No, he has bolts around his head though, around here. There's bolts on the side. Let's just do 3. Okay, let's work this eye a bit more. The roundness of it on the exterior, or posterior, I suppose is the word. Right now I'm thinking, so brain was engaged. I don't like that. Okay, that could work. You're not going to meet your deadline, you think? 2.5. Anthony, is there a way to do that in Toon Boom Harmony to make a perspective? I do not think so. However, there is Lazy Nizumi, which is a PC application, which I believe overlays on top of your entire system. And they do have guides for building perspective in it. So that might be worth looking into. Let's get a nice round shape here for the mouth. And again, I think, and a nice pointy stuff for the teeth so that they stand out. And nice and rounded for the tongue. Good. Okay. And let's get that crazy looking mustache. This thing is kind of pointy. Let me put it on another layer because I don't trust myself. And I'll put it back down. I guess I'll keep these relatively straight. Or, see, I don't like it. A little bit of design to them. They connect a little further up, so maybe I should bring them higher. Ah! Scared the crap out of me. Let's try that. Stick in my brush. Right, well, that was the time, so I gotta get a move on here, don't I? These little pieces. All right, so why don't I do this? Let's put the idea of the rest of his face in there. And we can start. I'll splash some color in there. Save. Hide our thumbs. Put another layer down, and he's pretty. I think I'm okay with the mustache. I think. I don't know. I don't know yet. Let me add a color layer. And we'll just splash in some color. Nothing super crazy. This what I want? Yes. These colors are dreadful, the screen grab. So we'll add a little bit of blue in there and go some gray. And let's save it. I don't know the link off the top of my head, Anthony, but you can go online and search lazy Nezumi, and you'll find it. It costs a couple bucks. It costs like $20. I myself have trouble with perspective. It's not one of my strong suits. Harmony or what am I trying to say? Storyboard Pro version 5.5, I do have that. They have added perspective lines, perspective guides in that version. So that's super handy. But again, I think Lazy Nezumi has perspective guides built into it. Add a little bit of red, go a little brown for the antlers. Maybe a little gray. He's pretty gray. He's a gray dude, but I don't want to get him muddy is the problem. Which was my problem with the dragon I had last week. There he is. Does anyone want PSE&G alternative? Or Con Ed alternative? That's them. They're going to sell you a better deal on your energy bill, your electric bill, or your car insurance. Let them. I can give them your information if you want. Sound out. Oh, you missed out, guys. You missed out on the deal of a lifetime. I think that phone rings at least 50 times a day. You know, they just have deals. They just want to give me a deal. They want to sell me. They don't want to sell me anything. They just want to give me a better life. They have no idea. They have no idea that I already am. I'm living the perfect life. I'm chained to this antique. I can't get up. I don't even know if there's an outside world. All right. So brown town in here. We can go a little more saturated. Maybe a little more red. No, it's too red. How about that? That could work. That could work for this. I personally, though, by the way, and speaking of lazy Mizumi, I don't have it personally. So I really don't know how well it works. I just was flipping through it the other day on their website. What time is it? Oh boy, I got to wrap up here. But I am determined to at least get this some semblance of color in here. Let's just get some color in. And now for the beard. I mean, it's definitely more on the gray. I was thinking about drawing the herring in the foreground. Again, if you've seen this, you would know what the herring is. Yeah, stabilizers. You know, I have an opinion on stabilizers. It's probably not a very popular one. I mean, they could be handy, of course, if you're doing more technical type drawing. I do have Clip. Is that Clip you're referring to? Yeah, in Clip Studio. Yeah, I have that on my Surface. You know, certainly a stabilizer, if you're doing a mechanical type drawing or something mechanical or anything that's not, I don't know, you lose a little bit of life from them, in my opinion. Let's save. You know, it's probably not the popular opinion, but I know people like stabilizers. For me, not so much. Something, bruh. So he's got some of this darker tone stuff. Here. And we'll use that same tone to tie in everything up here. Work on my posture. Oh, I'm turning into an old man. I mean, because I used back in the day. I remember when Sketchbook Pro first came out, probably in the mid 2000s. I remember that had a very similar concept of a stabilizer in it, and I remember thinking, "Oh, interesting." But it didn't give me. It did not afford me a very organic line. That's me. That's me. Again, if you're in YouTube, I don't even know if there is anybody in there. I have no idea because my YouTube stat is not working. So I apologize. I'm not ignoring you. All right, let's get a skin tone here. That could work. So we're getting there. Try and wrap this up so we can move on in life. And by move on, I mean get back to work. I have no idea what color his irises are. All right, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Let's go a little pink, more pink for the tongue. Little bit of gray for the teeth. They're inside. Now for this, let's go a little darker for the interior. We can maybe go a little lighter, maybe. No, I don't know if I like that. Oh yeah, let's try it. And maybe on this side, we'll go a little darker. Okay, and now I need to come up with something for the eyes. Let's go with blue, I guess. I have no idea what color his eyes are. How's that? Let's try this. Oop. Oh, shoot. Some holes here. Fix up. Alrighty. I mean, hey, Fueler? Sorry, it's hard to read your name in there. How are you in Twitch? How you doing, man? Good to see you. I don't like this, so I'm gonna get rid of this. And what we can finally do is maybe just get a little bit of light, lighten it up a little bit. Maybe just add some gray in the beard. And maybe add a few puffs up here. And maybe a few spots where the light is hitting. Yeah, maybe fill this in a bit more. And fix that little hole. Now, what I can maybe do is maybe just quickly, see, I know I'm doing this myself all the time. I'll just do a multiply layer, put it at 50%, save. Hey, Gutsy, thank you, man. I'm just going to put a multiply layer down, put some blue in here, and just punch in some. Let me set this to a clipping mask. That's okay. It's not my favorite, but it'll do. And then let's just put some tone in here. I'm not going to go crazy. This is definitely the cheating right now. At least I feel like I'm cheating. And in shadow here. And some darks in here. And maybe some tone in here, some shadows in here. A little bit in here. And touch up here a little bit. That whole piece in shadow. Maybe this whole back right here is in shadow. That'd be kind of nice. See, push it back in space a little bit. And maybe this could be a little heavier. Something like that. And deep, just hit these. And of course, this needs to be in shadow as well. And I think that is going to probably wrap it up. Put a bit of tone in here like such. Some shadow. Good. There we have it, I think. Let me just hide my, zoom in a little bit. Clean that up just a tad. There, it's slightly better. Whoops. Oh. All right, so there he is. I am going to post him when I have time. Twitch, thanks for hanging out with me today. You guys were a lot of fun to hang out with. So I want to hit my end screen. If you're on YouTube watching the recording of this, you'll see some subscribe buttons. Please click that to keep up with me. And I try to do the Wednesday Lunch Live Sketch every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. I try to do an animation for fun live stream on Mondays, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time as well. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good one, and everyone take care. Wait. Wrong button. Okay, now goodbye.